What's up, what's down? Tell me something going around. Let's discuss the light of day. Spitting truth, come with me. What's up, what's down? Nothing's ever out of bounds. There has to be a better way. Always something of a better play. Hero Shack Day, Hero Shack Day, Hero Shack, baby things. Hero Shack, hey, Hero Shack, yeah. Hero Shack, daily things. Here we go.
Hello, everybody. Welcome to Hero Shack Daily Things, episode 53. As promised last night, we will start looking at some of the things that I used to make the comics. Tonight's background is the Procreate logo, and that's what we're going to be looking at. But before we do that, last night when we left the show, we had one backer, $20. Tonight we have three backers at a total of $606. Thank you, guys. You know who you are. Wow, strong showing. I don't think we're going to have a problem with the stretch goal. We are at 121% funded, which is fantastic. That means the book is guaranteed to be coming to you guys. We have other great things here. The two-sided metal cards. We sold one of those last night. Thank you. And I've added some artwork for the Cardinal. Now, these are just some samples. I can't show too much because it's only like a 5-page introduction story. It will continue into Cyclopean 9, but yeah, this is just a teaser of what it's going to look like. Meanwhile, the Great Cyclopean is coming. I've done some touch up on this cover. You can't see it here. I will be uploading that soon. You know, it's how I do things. I constantly want to evolve them. Our stretch goals are indicated here. The 4x4 magnet is up first. We're about $400 off of that right now. That's our next target, guys. And yeah, as you go down, you can see, you know, examples of what we're offering. The tiers are on the right. And it's awesome. It's happening, and I'm glad to be doing it. So let's talk a little bit about how I do it. So this is the Apple Pencil. It's a primitive writing device that works quite well for what I use it for. I use it for art, and a lot of artists do. This is my iPad 12.9 Pro, Pro 12.9 inch. It's the biggest one they make. I'd love to have a bigger one, but they don't have it in bigger. Now I use that with a Apple keyboard, which makes the drawing a little weird, but I kind of grew to love it because I have to use a soft hand. Previously, I was using a true drawing board and I was bearing down. And for me, I like to be a little bit more finesse. Now I'm going to turn. What we're looking at here is, let's see, we're having trouble streaming YouTube. I think we're losing the stream. Let me check something. Losing the stream. Let me check. No, it's still going. I'm getting a warning, but the stream is working. So we're going to continue. As you can see here, this is the Procreate screen. Now, this is the Procreate logo that I'm showing right now. It's just a screen picture. But when I go into my gallery, you can see how I have things organized. It does take photographs. This is the one I used in the campaign this time around. It's similar to Photoshop, not quite as powerful, but it's great as a drawing tool. I'm finding I like Fresco a little bit more, which is the Adobe product, but I can't really find a way to make it fully functional in the same way that I do Procreate. So Procreate is it for me. This is one of the pages from the Cardinal, and kind of just, I'm going to go in here and just maybe do one of these characters the way I normally do it. So the way this started was with rough sketches. They all looked pretty much like this. And I just build them up and build them up. I'll redraw them 2-3 times until I'm happy with what I'm looking at. Now, these are enlarged. So when you're looking at them full size, like they're going to appear in the comic, they're pretty detailed. But I bring them up that much so I can actually, you know, show what's happening. Hello, Miss Diana.
Hi.
I just noticed you came in. I wasn't trying to make you come in.
Well, you shared the link, and but I am working on something, so I'm going to let you do most of the talking. Can you guys hear
But
me okay?
fairly well.
Okay.
I shared the link only because I wanted to transfer it. So the way I'm working right now is I'm drawing on my iPad, which is connected to my Mac Mini, and I'm streaming through my iMac, but I've joined the stream with the Mac Mini, and now I'm just sharing the output of my iPad through the Mac Mini. So I'm actually logged in twice, and that allows me to have two windows. So, if we get sick of looking at this, I can always zoom and come back down. I lost Diana, so she must have left, but I can do this. Oh, she's back. But I can zoom down so people can see and hear us, or I can zoom back up and we can still be heard while I draw.
Mm-hmm.
So that was the game plan there. I don't plan on streaming very long tonight. I still have a video trailer to make, but honestly, Diana and I had the comic book club today, and it was a pretty challenging day, I'd say, but the kids were fantastic. I did something that I really was hesitant to do, but I think experience is something paramount here. The kids were truly getting stuck on the concept of putting together artwork. And so I totally blew their minds today. I took a couple of pictures and I started adding dialogue to it. And I saw the little light bulb go off in at least 2 or 3 of the kids. So I suspect we'll have a weird hybrid comic as well, where they take pictures and put captions to them. That's not exactly what I was planning on doing, but if they get the concept and they start writing, we're halfway there, and from there, I do have a couple of guys that are really hot on drawing. So I'm sure that's going to get passed down and moved up, and they're going to use that. But at the same time, there's kids that have the vision and they don't yet have the skill. And I'm sure they will thrive on this idea of using photographs to tell a story. I actually had one kid ask me, well, can we do a Halo story? Are we going to have to get copyright permission? I said, well, we can do a fan comic. It doesn't have to be printed professionally. We can always make copy. You know what I mean? There's a lot of things we can do. We can even just do a PDF if so desired. So we'll see what happens with that. I just want to get them into the habit of creating. I want them to enjoy knowing that they can tell a story, no matter what it is, where it is, provided that they think it through and figure out how they want to put it together. Whether it's photographs, drawings, whether it involves comics at all, because ultimately they could just become great writers, right? But I don't know. So I can only kind of share what I do and hope to inspire and help to educate if they get stuck. I mean, what else can we do? So here you see, I've put a guy on top of that rough sketch, which is right on this layer. I guess I might want to explain that. These are all layers within this page of drawing. And what I do is I draw on top of the layer until I'm satisfied with what I see. So I'm satisfied for now with this guy. I'm going to actually erase what's underneath him. Now, I could just delete the layer, but I have another guy on the other side who I've also fleshed out. So this is kind of how I build my crowds. You'll notice there's no background in this yet. I'm going to have a huge gateway behind them where the horse is going to go through. But for now, I don't have that in there because I really don't need it. I want to get the detail of the crowd because there's going to be a ton of Roman soldiers and Vatican City styled soldiers. And there's going to be a few priests and they'll have assistants, things like that. So I build the crowd up and then I come in with the background. And sometimes I do it the other way, depending how much perspective is in play. Like on page 1, let me show you. This was background first. And that's because it's a bird's eye view down on the buildings and the people in the street and this caravan coming through town, which is, it's happening in Italy. So I don't know. I guess town sounds too English. I don't know what they'd call it in Italy. Whatever town is in Italian, right, Diana?
Yeah.
What? What's town in Italian?
I don't know off the top of my head.
Well, you
But-
are a mechanic's daughter, so I expected you to know that.
Well, I am multitasking as well. So let me find out for you. Does that sound good?
That sounds like a let me Google that statement.
Yeah,
Let me,
it is
let me
basically.
Google that for you. No, you don't have to Google it. I was only teasing you.
Well,
We strive for excellence.
Mhm.
Yeah.
with Sita.
Oh, really?
Sita.
Oh, it sounds a lot like city. I wonder if that's where city came from.
Probably.
You know, most
me
of the
know.
English language, from what I've read, has been stolen from other languages. So,
Hey, let me know if this if it's too loud what I'm doing. I will shut my mic off and respond when I need to. But
no, it actually sounds nice. I like it. Are you? What are you doing? Peeling bananas?
yeah. I'm peeling bananas
Yeah.
in the shape of a cyclopean head. It's very
That's
cool.
correct. You are working on the great cyclopean
That is, yes, I am.
costume
Indeed,
for
indeed.
behavioral show, correct?
Yes, that is correct.
But you have your model, your live actor coming Saturday to test fit.
This is true, and so therefore, I need to get this done tonight. So that's what I'm
That
doing.
is rather exciting.
It is exciting, and so that's why at some point I will be shutting your door in your studio and using
My
the
door
heat
is
gun.
shut.
Oh, okay.
So,
Well, I
like,
know, but-
okay, here's a good example. The page has been laid out, right?
Yep.
Here you see the priest and the father kind of letting go. They were hugging in the last page, in the last panel. Back then, it was common for hugs and brotherly kisses amongst Christians when they greeted. So this is them breaking the connection. However, the conversation will be talking about what's actually in the cart. And you can see the horse-drawn cart is up here, and it's going into like a garage area. But of course, this is not garages because it's not, mechanics. Here we'll have a scene where one of the assistants is pulling out boxes or little chests that contain many, 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 many Christian artifacts, most of which are total frauds. And I'm playing that off the fact that there was a huge market for, artifacts from the days of Christ, whether that be, the tooth of John the Baptist, or, a nail from the very Christ of cross, or a cross of Christ, or, perhaps the cup that he dranketh from.
Right.
There were so many things that they, lived off of and talked about and believed in and traded in. And like, you could actually have one of these artifacts show up to a church in your local town, and people would flock because they would believe, well, that's the cloak of Apostle Paul. Perhaps I can heal, perhaps it can heal my son. Yeah, honey, that sounds horrible. You might as well just mute it.
Okay, I'm so sorry.
It's all
But I'll
right.
answer if you ask me a question, okay?
All right. But yeah, so I play off of that whole idea. And in this panel, we'll show, again, more people unpacking and talking about how often they get these fraudulent things, or they believe them to be fraudulent, but yet they take them in because this is a somewhat of an obsession with the church. And why wouldn't it be? If you have an opportunity to get an actual artifact from the historical times of Christ that he himself touched or used, or et cetera, et cetera. And that's what this page is. So you're seeing it in this stage. And what I'll literally do is I'll come in and I'm going to actually shut off panels that I don't need. So I'm only going to be doing this panel right now. And I'm going to take that and bring its opacity way down. Like I'm down around 14% now. And the next thing you do is put a layer on top. And I'm going to start drawing. I'm going to use a smooth ink tech pen which actually has quite a bit of smoothing in it. Not enough to make it so I can't draw, but enough so that if my hand has any shake in it, it'll literally help take it out. And then I just start going over the roughs and see I'm kind of feeling it out. This guy is fatter than that, so I have to go back and like kind of bring his chin down. And this really isn't meant to be like an instructional on how to draw, but again, it's to kind of show the process. You know, anybody can do this from, you know, an iPad. You can get a regular one. You'd have to get the first generation pen, which is virtually identical. I mean, I'm blessed enough that my wife keeps me loaded with the latest technology that Apple offers, but you could do this with a, you know, $220 iPad. The pencil is rather expensive. It's like $120 at Walmart. You can probably get it a little cheaper online, but I've found that I like the pencil. One thing I hear a lot of online, and maybe it's because it's advertising, but a lot of people are trying to sell screen protectors that feel like paper. And that to me kind of defeats the point. You know, when I want to draw on paper, I just draw on paper. Drawing on glass, I have found to be a far different experience than it ever was on paper. And it's something that I've actually come to enjoy greatly. And that goes along with the benefits of, you know, instant undo, Command Z's. That's all in effect on an iPad. It's a 2-finger touch, but it's the same thing as a Z command, you know, undo. And that saves a lot of time as well. So does this layer drawing. Ordinarily, if this was, you know, the pro process, you know, of the old days, I would be drawing on or inking on top of pencils right now, but the pencils would be far more refined. One of the advantages of this is because it's all easily drawn over, I can be a little sloppy, tighten up later, go back and refine details. Because lately, the big thing I'm trying to concentrate on is consistency. So I can do a rough sketch and then go back and look at what the specific, you know, button structure is on this guy's collar, for instance. I have a general idea because I've been doing a lot of drawings of them. But let's say I put 3 here and it should be 4. Well, I can go back and fix that easily. In paper, that might not be as easily done. Okay, so we're going to have his arm there. They're separating. And what they're actually talking about in the story is, you know, times are getting tough, but they appreciate the artifacts and, you know, they're going to reimburse them for their time and efforts. Okay, so now I'm going to get rid of the junk drawing underneath it. Actually, I'll leave it for now just so I can show you. And this is where I'm at next. This is the next stage. And then I'll go through and draw on top of that, thicken some of the lines, add my shadows. And because this is a black and white, I'll then go in and add cross-hatching, you know, any sort of thing that I think is going to fit it. Yo, Tony, God bless you, brother. Yeah, if I had had one of these, I don't know what would have happened, because one of my biggest problems in drawing was just going through paper and getting disgusted of never being able to finish a drawing. iPad totally changes the equation. And really, even the kids I have in our club, they've all gone to the iPad now. I've gotten them some pencils, or pens rather. We went out and we didn't get the Apple ones. We got these passive magnetic ones. And they love them. So truly, if this thing works out and we keep doing the club, we'll probably end up having to buy real Apple pencils for them. But right now, because of where we're at, it's like, yeah, we can do it this way. But what we're finding is, you know, they're learning, but it's a whole different. We're not going to try to do a whole story next time. We're going to focus on getting them to do small comics individually and then as a collective group if they feel like they're ready. But we're learning a lot about the process, and I don't know. I'm very happy with where we are, but it's not where I thought would be. I guess that's the fairest thing to say. But we are primed and ready for next year, and hopefully, some of these kids will repeat. A lot of them won't. I am finding, which is fine. A lot of kids don't know what it means to make a comic, and then when they're actually looking at it, it's overwhelming, and I don't blame them. It gets kind of scary. When you look at a story that's beyond anything, you've never drawn anything of that sort. Like these kids had a very ambitious story, and I don't know, we may still do some of it, but I'm expecting it not to work out that way. I'm expecting to get a lot of 1 or 2 page short stories about the characters that the kids created for the story. And if I get that, I'll be very happy. Yeah, that hat is so stupid looking. Let me just I want to have it have a little bit of motion in it, because it's not, it's not the most stable structured thing, but it is god awful gaudy. It's gaudy. But a lot of stuff, even today, when you research what most of the religions, especially, with these massive churches and stuff, their outfits for worship, they go unrivaled. You can't find anything like that so much in life today, unless you're like at a fashion show, I guess. But the colors, the robes, all the different jewelry that they wear, and it's pretty amazing. But I'm having fun with it. So this is, again, just a demonstration. I know that the kids are watching, and guys, this is really how I do my books. You've all got copies. By the way, I got to say something about this. I was told today that in issue 1, I used the word damn, and I didn't even realize it. And here's the thing, and I want to apologize first to anybody who's read that and maybe thought, wow, that might be a little much. I didn't think anything of it because it's all over everything. Like rated G, the word damn isn't even considered a swear. But yeah, it's something that I'll think about. I will refrain from using it if people are offended by it, particularly the kids, because that's who matters. And he was like, oh, I think that's inappropriate. And I'm like, well, you know what? Thanks for telling me, and we will work on that. I thought he was going to talk about the symbol thing, because I had another kid upset about using symbols to hide bad words, which I think we're still going to do. I think he understood the point on that. But yeah, you got to be open to talking to people, and I'm just glad that the kid came to me and said, hey, is this appropriate? My opinion varied from his, and that's fine, but that doesn't mean that his is invalid or that I can't hear it and learn from it, so hey, thanks, kid. Anyways, back to the drawing. As you can see, it's still, this is not a refined drawing. And in fact, I'm going to adjust a few things as we go. Like I'm going to grab this head and just make it a wee bit smaller. And this hat, I'm going to move just a bit. And you might say, oh, well, that ruins the drawing. Well, not really, because I'm going to draw right over it again. This is another layer where details start coming in. And as the layers go, things that are stiff, like right now, this face looks a little stiff. In fact, it's a little big as well. Big heads is one of my things, which is kind of cool because it was one of John Byrne's things too. But as I go, I'll liven that up. It'll lose some of the stiffness, and we'll end up, with artwork more like this. Because that's where all this started. And if you look at the layers, there's tons of layers. I'm going to end up compressing them, but I delete the layers as I go from underneath until I have a finished product. So overall, Procreate runs about $19 on Apple OS, the iOS. There is a Pocket version, but I've never used it. There is not a desktop version. It only comes on iPad. You won't find it on Windows, so it's limited there. But it's something I think is worth investing in. It's a fantastic product. I turn these images into PNGs, but you also have the option, I believe, of TIFF, certainly JPEG or PDFs. And you can take those and put them into page layouts. You can letter them in Procreate or letter them in another program, and then you can send it out and have it printed at any printer as long as you know their requirements, size, color profile, bleeds, all that kind of stuff. That's not too hard to figure out, and we can discuss that as questions come or if they come. But I've got a nice little template I created for the Amazon process, which we use, KDP, for our prints. And it's become rather standard for me. I've been doing like a 45-day cycle, I think, for the last 2 or 3 issues. And it's working out perfectly. So I'm not staying on late tonight. I just wanted to jump in. It is a daily thing. And I wanted to share. I told you guys I'd share a little bit about how I do it. And Procreate is the first step. Yes, brother. Yeah, well, thank you. Now I got to get out there and I'm going to find some fresh blood tomorrow. I'm going to sell some books to some fresh blood. I think it's Friday, so I think I can do something dangerous. But if not, it's still, 43 days from the end, and we're already at the goal. So I got to get the Cardinal done, and I have a trailer to finish, and Titans of Justice, Ashcan. I am drawing that on, because what happens is now I'm looking for stuff to draw, and drawing Roman stuff isn't really my forte, so I'm doing stuff there. But yeah, the Titans are more Americanized, and I can go back and play with that and get that done. So with that said, ladies and gentlemen, I will prepare to go. I will play what I have as a trailer for now. It's certainly not done. If I can find it, let me see, where did I stash that thing last night? Oh yes, I remember. And again, this is not final. Yeah, that's it for now, but I will have a new one soon, and we will raise the sales. God bless you, Tony. We'll talk to you soon. See you soon. And ladies and gentlemen, we love you. We'll talk to you soon as well. I'll be back tomorrow night late. So get fired up, get paid, and let's buy some books.
We'll stop what's down, jump some going around. Let's discuss the light of day. Spitting truth come what may. What's up, what's down, and nothing's ever out of bounds. There has to be a better way, always something of a better play. Hero Shack Day, Hero Shack Day, Hero Shack, baby things. Hero Shack, hey, Hero Shack, yeah.